To the girl who rated you a 9, I have to ask, can you describe for me what an ugly woman looks like?
An ugly woman?
Yeah.
Into the mic.
Why would I describe an ugly woman? We're not even talking about women right now. Mister?
Yeah, I know. Can you describe for me though what an ugly woman looks like?
Did you just assume?
Like you do agree that there are some women who on the planet who are ugly, right?
No.
You sure about that?
I don't think any women on this planet are ugly.
So then,
If nobody's ugly, then nobody could be cute.
a person can be in a burn victim ward, half their face is melted off, their tongue is sticking out, they have a hunchback on their back, right?
Mm-hmm.
This person is still, you consider them to be physically attractive.
I mean, yeah. Have you seen The Hunchback of Notre Dame?
What?
You consider Quasimodo physically attractive, do you?
Honestly, if he can be the lead in a Disney movie, then he is attractive.
This is the cap that these women do. Would she date him? Look at her face. She knows she lying.
Like, you have to think about it, like...
I agree. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. So I'm asking, what is the least beautiful type of person you can describe? Because I would consider that to be ugly.
To someone who's, like, evil. Like, I think if you're a bad person, you're ugly. But,
Yeah,
like...
but what about their physical characteristics, not their emotional or innate characteristics?
Like,
Like, let's say a person was in a coma and had never spoken a word their entire life, right? So you had no idea what their personality was like. You could only see what they physically looked like.
mm-hmm.
Inside of that situation, the person who physically looked the worst would look like what?
I don't even, like... I don't even know how to answer that. Like...
Because you don't want to be honest.
Why not think about pretty things?
See, that's the problem. This is what you call a delusion. When somebody can ask you a simple question, and in her big head, 'cause she has like a good round head, like a perfectly shaped head. In that head of hers, she knows the answer, but she's fighting.
Like, why are we thinking about ugly people?
Well, because in order to think about what is pretty, I think that you have to have the other end of the standard, which is what is not pretty. And so I'm asking you what a thing which is not pretty in a person looks like physically. Otherwise, how can we judge a standard, for instance? How can I judge your standard for what beautiful is if you can't tell me the other end of it, which is what ugly is? How could I ever judge your standard as being something which is in any way, shape, or form dependable?
Okay. Well, I just think... Well, can I just say what I find attractive about Brian? Is it Brian? Or is it Brandon?
Damn.
Now, how about you tell me what you find unattractive about
I don't know. Like, I just find... I feel like my brain, like, is at
Is empty.
a point where, like, attractiveness is really just based on, like, the inside.
Bullshit.
Okay, I do have standards, and they're very high. I just...
Oh, well, what a shock. So you have really, really high standards for the type of men you will date, right? And so then we rule out all types of men you won't date. What do the types of men you don't date look like by chance?
Well, I know their pockets look empty. That's one.
She won't judge the way you look, but she'll judge how much money you got because she's a great person. Got it.
I don't like brokies. I like a guy who's ambitious.
Yeah, I know, great. I'm just the physical characteristics.
Okay,
right?
okay. I don't like guys. Okay, I guess for my preference, I don't like guys with blonde hair that much. Even though my first kiss was a blonde guy, but like I want to have like, you know, a tall, dark stallion. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like guys who look like childish. Like when you were younger, you looked a little bit childish, but like that's okay because you were young. But like why do I have to answer what I find unattractive?
So you don't like soft doughboy-looking men?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, great. So you would consider them to be unattractive?
Yes.
Was that hard?
Okay, great. Now, can you tell me what would be an unattractive standard for a woman?
Why does it have to be a woman? Like, I think all women are beautiful.
Why does it matter? How can you say what's attractive in men but not women? How would you ever judge what a beauty standard is? How could you endlessly compare yourself to women if you can't even tell me what an unattractive woman looks like? And now, hang on. Here's the part where you bullshit. I never compare myself to other women. Don't bullshit me. Don't bullshit me. Just tell me, what does an unattractive woman look like?
I don't compare myself to other women, first of all.
Okay.
He already knew that was coming. That was just too easy.
Okay, sure. Okay.
And
you're the only one on planet Earth who's never compared yourself to another woman.
I mean, I wouldn't say never, but I just feel like an unattractive woman is like a really mean, evil woman. Like, I don't know what she would look like.
Physical characteristics.
Physical,
yes.
like-
She's fighting this.
I feel like obviously there's conventional beauty standards.
Yeah.
So of course, like we as women do things to make ourselves more attractive.
Forget the conventional beauty standards. We all know what ugly is. We can debate if somebody else looks all right and looks a little bit good, but ugly is we all know ugly. No matter what beauty standard you want to put them against, anywhere in the world is a universal ugly.
Conventionally, right?
Yeah, but how would you know what that was unless you were comparing yourself to other women?
Of course, I do compare myself to other women.
Yeah, that's a totally honest answer that I can respect. I understand that.
Of course.
I understand saying I compare myself to other women. That's how I know what the conventional beauty standard is, and that's how I know what's attractive or unattractive. So I'm guessing from your position, for instance, a woman who is like 300 pounds and 5'6", you would probably rule out as being particularly attractive, right?
Yes, but I do think that like in this day and age, there's so much that you can do you can make yourself attractive. Like you could start off ugly and overweight, and you can do a lot to yourself to make yourself suddenly attractive.
I'm not
Which proves the point of what he's trying to say. There's a spectrum. There is a ugly and then there is a beautiful. So therefore, if you have to do something to yourself in order for you to be beautiful, that means you're more to the opposite end of that spectrum, which is ugly.
disputing that you can't change physical characteristics to make yourself more attractive. All I'm asking
is what is unattractive?
An unattractive woman looks like.
Unattractive, I would say, is overweight. I'm big on teeth, so like messed up teeth, you know, acne, skin. I think unhygienic, like hygiene is a big factor of attractiveness to me. So that would be like clean nails, clean teeth, shower, odor. Those things also play a role in appearing attractive, I believe. But of course, you know, like, do you do your hair, your makeup?
I would argue if you have to do your makeup, you're on the opposite end of that spectrum.
Will beat on their face with makeup, or do they just want like a little something, you know? But like, I think, yeah, that would be probably my answer.
So would you say if one of those women then called themselves a 10, that they were delusional? That's my question.
Yes.
Thank you.
And to the 10, would you say that if a woman had those characteristics and said that she was a 10, would she be delusional?
Yeah, but it's okay to live in delusion if you. It's not hurting me if you believe, if you are conventionally unattractive and believe you're
It's
a
okay
10.
to live in delusion?
What?
It's not my life. If you want to live like that, I don't care. Like, it really doesn't affect me.
Would you prefer to live in delusion or
No,
not?
I would prefer to live in reality. But
Don't
like,
you think most people? Well, if people.
but it's
live
also
in
not my
delusion,
job
can't-
to go up to someone who believes
Yeah,
that
but
they're a
can't
10 and be like, no, you're not.
delusional people- Yeah, but don't delusional people affect reality?
Right.
With their delusions? I mean, that's literally why we lock delusional people up.
I feel
because
like
they
in a
affect
place like
reality.
LA, if you believe you're a 10 and you are clearly not a 10, reality is going to hit you like a brick wall, especially in California.
Yeah, I agree with that too. But back over to the 10, just time the answer from you. Would you say that if a woman met all those criteria for what she considered unattractive, and this person called themselves a 10, that they would be delusional?
I would say they're very confident. You know, Delulu is sometimes a Solulu. If that helps you go through the day,
Oh, God.
you thinking you're a 10, then more
So
power
they're
to you.
coping? So they're coping?
Yeah, like,
They're coping?
so, yeah, they're coping, they're living in their world, and it's like, they're not hurting anyone. So it's like,
Yeah, they've already got enough going on. They're overweight. They have bad skin. They have bad teeth. They've already got enough on their plate. Like, let them have their little delusion, okay?
Yeah, but how do they change those things if you let
Ozempic.
them live in that delusion?
how do you change what? Sorry?
How do they change those things if you let them live in delusion?
They
If they
can't.
want to live that lifestyle, that's for
Yeah,
them.
I know that might. So I'm going to
That's
ask the
the-
question though. Maybe answer the question I ask instead of the one I'm not asking. So here's a question I'm asking you: how does a woman who has all those characteristics but says she's a 10 and is living in delusion by your metric, how does she change these things if nobody ever tells her that she's delusional?
And this is why women like this could never run anything, because they don't want to tell anybody the harsh truths for them to get better. They will just allow you to just self-destruct and encourage you to self-destruct and say that you're perfect the way you are.
How does she change these things if no one tells her she's delusional? Maybe she doesn't want to.
That's not the question.
Who am I to decide that for her?
So to the gal on to my right in the red, remember how she said, and I agree with this, and I think you do too, that people can have all sorts of unattractive traits, right, and change them. They can change them so that they can actually become more attractive and live more fulfilled lives. Mm-hmm. How can they do that if you let them live in delusion?
I think that there's like a gentle way to, you know, say if you're severely overweight, like you can come at it less from a superficial perspective of like the aesthetics of it, and more so like, hey girl, like you want to come to the gym with me? You want?
No, you can't do that. Nope, the Undertaker coming. There's no way you could do that. Once a woman mentions another woman's weight, women understand that code that you're trying to say. If you say, "Hey, girl, you want to come to the gym with me?" and she knows she big, and she know you're fit, she know you're trying to send signals to her. She can read underneath all of those. They rather that person say something about themselves, and then they'll probably jump in just a little bit. Like, girl, I can't fit through this door. I'm a little big. And you're like, yeah, girl, you know, you got to lose a little bit. Ha 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 ha. And they try to play it off. They would just allow her to live in Delulu land.
Got him. We